Welcome back to the 2015-2016 NBA preview. Today we're going to be covering the Detroit Pistons at number 24. My name is Joshua Enviers, and with me today is my co-host.
Yo, what's up, YouTube? Man, another bad team, man. It is low, aka legend of winning. Man, these bad teams, man. Jesus Christ. But we're going to get there. We're getting there. We're getting closer.
So with that said, let's take a look at what the Pistons did leading up to the season.
Pistons, a few things last year. I think the biggest thing that went around was Josh Smith, of course. Josh Smith, they ended up waiving Josh Smith. Not even really waiving. They ended up stretching his contract.
Josh Smith.
Ended up waiving Josh Smith.
Waving him.
Oh, my goodness. Stretching out his contract for, I want to say like 3 to 4 years.
They brought in Reggie Jackson.
And ever since Brandon Jennings was just crazy, I would never thought Reggie Jackson didn't do so well. I thought he was going to be able to replace.
He threw up his first game.
Oh, wow. I thought he was going to be able to replace Brandon Jennings pretty well, but he was unable to do so. So that kind of messed up the whole flow of everything. But now we're here. And unfortunately, Greg Monroe was also gone as well. They didn't get nothing for him, basically. But we'll see what they're going to do this year.
They got Stan Van Gundy, and, well, he said he wants to change up the culture. And Isaiah Thomas is not like that whatsoever. So far, the culture in Detroit hasn't been looking good. So with that said, let's take a look at the summer acquisitions by the Pistons. The Pistons acquired Aaron Baines, Ersan Ilyasova, Steve Blake, and a guy called Danny Granger, who is not the former player he once was.
And also Morris as well. Marcus Morris, not his brother, but a pretty solid player. The big thing with me, though, I don't know what they're doing with their point guard position. I'm assuming trades are going to happen.
So if we take a look at what they lost, they didn't really lose much. They basically only lost Greg Monroe, lost Caron Butler. Who knows what's happening to Tayshaun Prince?
Van Gundy got literally nothing for Greg Monroe. I mean, Ilyasova, I guess that's okay. But, literally got nothing for Greg Monroe. And this was something that was lingering on throughout the past, 2 seasons, ever since they added Josh Smith into the roster, and they're trying to figure out how they're going to do their lineups and the rotations with all 3 of the big men. I'm just completely disappointed in the fact that throughout the whole season, literally nothing for Greg Monroe. That's crazy.
They did, however, draft Stanley Johnson, who seems to be a bright spot. They also drafted Hillard, who knows if he's going to make an impact with this team. Moving on to the rotation, we have Andre Drummond at center, Ersan Ilyasova, Marcus Morris, KCP, and Reggie Jackson.
Van Gundy, good coach, and it seems like what he's trying to do with the lineup is he's trying to emulate what he did back then and stretch the floor out a lot, which I don't necessarily know if players like Ilyasova are going to replace.
Andre Drummond is not Dwight Howard.
That's what he's trying to do. And I see where he's coming from, but looking at the lineup, I think a lot of people misunderstand how good that Orlando Magic team was from 1 through 4 before he even got to Dwight Howard. Ilyasova isn't going to be a Hedo Turkoglu-like player. Reggie Jackson,
they're both from Turkey, so you know.
Oh my God. Reggie Jackson isn't going to be as good as Jameer Nelson was that year. Players like Vince Carter isn't going to be represented correctly on this team.
Courtney Lee. Where's Courtney Lee at? Is he Marcus Morris?
I don't necessarily know, but that's the thing.
Or is he KCP?
Might be KCP. KCP, I do like KCP. I think Caldwell Pope, he has a lot of potential. But when you just look at the lineup and
Aaron Baines is definitely not Marcin Gortat.
Exactly. So I think people misunderstand that, and I see what he's trying to do when he's trying to represent this team on his other team, but it's not going to work out. This team just isn't going to cut.
If we look at the bench, Aaron Baines, Anthony Tolliver, Stanley Johnson, who's probably going to be getting the start midway through the season as well, Jody Meeks, and Steve Blake.
Brandon Jennings' injury might be worse than what everybody's led to believe because they got Steve Blake, and they're probably thinking to themselves, we just need
that Brandon Jennings might not even be back until All-Star break.
Maybe probably somewhere around there, and by that time, so it may be worse than what we may think, and it may take a tad bit longer time for him to recover. So that may be the reason why they got Steve Blake. I still just believe that point guard position has way too many players, and I don't know what they're going to do with it. But again, this team, it's obvious what he's trying to do. He's trying to spread the floor, run 4 round 1, and I don't necessarily know if it's going to work as good as it did in Orlando.
Which leads us to the question.
So the question, you probably already know, but quick explanation. Something that I ask you, the viewer, all the time, and me and Josh, we take our opinions on the question. So please leave a comment in the comment section below on what you think about the question and how you want to answer it. But I've been kind of hinting to this all video long. Is Andre Drummond as good as we perceive him to be, or at least as good as Van Gundy perceives him to be. I think he's a solid player.
He is not Dwight Howard good, and like we said, I would assume Van Gundy is trying to replicate the Orlando Magic team, and this is not even close. I mean, the Magic team at the time, a lot of them may be out of the league by now, but at the time they were decent, and right now these guys are a bunch of misfits on a team, if I have to say so myself.
I forgot they had a younger Matt Barnes as well. That team was really, really good. That team was really solid. They had Mikael Pietrus as well. Nice defender, could stretch the floor. This team just doesn't have it.
Rashard Lewis.
Oh my goodness gracious. They had stretch.
Instead, now we have Anthony Tolliver.
Oh my God, Anthony Tolliver, boy, that don't. I don't know, but I do think Andre Drummond, he holds some same characteristics as Dwight did back in the day, but I can't imagine him taking over games the way that the way that Dwight Howard did. I like Drummond, but he's not on that level just yet. But he has potential to become at least somewhere around there. But the team as a whole just has to get better as well.
So with that said, let's get into the short predictions of what we think the Pistons will be doing this season.
I would want to say Reggie Jackson's on the block, but the contract that they just signed him to was just completely outrageous.
That John Wall money.
That he got John Wall money. a backup got John Wall money. But I hope Brandon Jennings will be back sooner than what we believe. And
one of them will be traded.
One of them will be traded, but
by trade deadline or at the end of the season. My thoughts are trade deadline.
Yeah, I think trade deadline as well. Also, KCP and Stanley Johnson. Don't sleep on those two. I like both of them actually. KCP, I'm most definitely I'm a fan of his work and what he does. But those three guards, one of those 3-point guards is going to be gone. If you had to say which one, who would it be?
I don't know. If Brandon Jennings or Reggie, I don't think both of those guys would accept the role coming off the bench though. That's the thing. So, my opinion would be Steve Blake and Brandon Jennings.
You think both of them are going to go?
If not, then Brandon Jennings. Because the more conversation is Reggie Jackson or Brandon Jennings, and my assumption would be Brandon Jennings because, like you said, they signed Reggie Jackson to John Wall money, and Brandon Jennings, I believe, he doesn't have that many years under contract left. So, yeah, Brandon Jennings.
Yeah, okay, Brandon Jennings. All right. I guess I still need to see Reggie Jackson run an offense. I guess we'll see it this year, but yeah, Brandon Jennings will probably be gone.
If Van Gundy's trying to do like what we're saying, they don't need a great point guard. They just need a Jameer Nelson, and Reggie Jackson can be a Jameer Nelson.
Jameer Nelson was solid that year. I can't even lie, but yeah, I don't even know if Reggie Jackson could be a Jameer Nelson because it's not like he shot all that well last year. So I don't.
They got shooters for that, like Anthony Tolliver.
I guess so, man. Anthony Tolliver is gonna save them.
So that said, hope you guys enjoyed. If you can please leave a like on this video and be sure to share it around, it'd be greatly appreciated. A lot of work and effort is put into this, so I hope you enjoy.
And shout out to everybody who is sharing and supporting the movement that we're doing. Keep sharing, keep commenting. We want to hear what people have to say in the comment section below all the time. Like, share, favorite, all that crazy stuff, and we'll see y'all next time on the next vid on our countdown and our preview.
We'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys. Bye.